$75 a month more, that's the raise. Retirees are now on track to get starting this January, and the number is nearly locked in. In the next 10 minutes, I'll give you the 6 things to know before mid-October. And stay with me for number 6, because it's the one almost everyone gets completely backwards. Number 1. The number itself, 3.6%. The Senior Citizens League updated its 2027 cost of living forecast on August 12th, right after the July inflation report came out, and it now projects a 3.6% COLA, down from 3.8% just 1 month earlier. Other forecasters land close by. Current estimates run from about 3.2 to 3.7%. Here's why that matters in dollars. The average retirement check reached $2.086 a month in July. A 3.6% raise moves that to about $2.161, $75 more every month, roughly $900 across the year. And if your check is bigger, so is your raise. At $2.500 a month, 3.6% works out to $90. Compare that to what you got this past January. The 2026 COLA was just 2.8%, and 2027 is shaping up to be a noticeably bigger bump. Now, why do I say nearly final instead of final? Because the COLA is calculated from exactly 3 months of inflation data, July, August, and September, compared against the same 3 months last year. July is already in the books. That's exactly why the forecast just moved from 3.8 to 3.6. Real data replaced guesswork. 2 months remain, so the final number can still drift a tenth or two in either direction. But the range is tight now. The typical mistake at this stage. Retirees hear a headline number in August, build their winter budget around it, then feel blindsided in October when it lands lower. Don't anchor to 3.8. That number is already dead. Anchor to roughly 3.6. Expect small drift. And, as you'll see in number 3, don't spend even that number yet. Number 2. Mark the right date, because half the internet has it wrong. The official 2027 COLA will be announced on Wednesday, October 14th, 2026, at 8:30 in the morning Eastern Time, the moment the September inflation report is released, not October 15th, the 14th. If you've seen Mark October 15th in a headline, that's the wrong day for the COLA, though the 15th does matter for a completely different reason, and that's number 4. Here's the full calendar so nothing catches you off guard. October 14th, the Social Security Administration announces the exact percentage. December. SSA sends every beneficiary a personal COLA notice showing your precise new 2027 amount. And here's the detail people miss. If you have a My Social Security account set for online messages, that notice lands in your message center, not your mailbox, so check both. January 2027, the higher amount appears in your first payment of the year, on your usual payment schedule. The common mistake here costs people real stress. They hear a neighbor quote a number, their December notice disappears into a pile of holiday mail, and by February, they're genuinely unsure whether their raise was applied correctly. Fix that in advance with one habit. Know your current gross benefit to the exact dollar, and write it down this week. Then, when the percentage drops on October 14th, you can multiply it yourself in 30 seconds and check January's deposit against your own math, not against a rumor from a Facebook group. If the deposit doesn't match, you'll catch it in week 1 instead of month 3, and you can call Social Security at 1-800-772-1213 with the exact discrepancy in front of you. Number 3. The deduction that shrinks the raise before you ever see it. Your Medicare Part B premium. For most retirees, Part B is taken straight out of the Social Security payment, so what matters isn't the gross raise. It's what's left after Medicare takes its bite. The standard Part B premium right now in 2026 is $202.90 a month. The Medicare trustees' own report projects it rising to about $209.50 in 2027, an increase of $6.60. But here's the uncomfortable part. Private forecasters who track this closely expect the real number to land between $216 and $219, because the trustees have repeatedly underestimated these increases in recent years. So run the honest math. Average check, $2.086. Gross COLA at 3.6%, $75. If Part B lands at $217, that's roughly $14 more deducted every month. Your real raise, about $61. Nearly a fifth of it gone before the money ever touches your account. One protection worth knowing: the hold-harmless rule. If a Part B increase would ever exceed your dollar COLA, the law stops your net Social Security payment from shrinking because of it. Your check can stall, but Part B alone can't push it backward. With a 3.6% COLA, that's unlikely to trigger for most people this year. But anyone with a small check should know the shield exists. The mistake that stings: budgeting the gross number. A retiree who commits the full $75 to a new recurring bill in January discovers that same month that $14 of it never existed. When the official Part B premium is announced this fall, subtract it before you spend a dime. The net number is your raise. Everything else is a headline. Still with me? Good. Because number 6 is coming, and it flips everything you think you know about good and bad COLA years completely upside down. Number 4. October 15th does matter, just not for the reason you think. That's the day Medicare Open Enrollment begins, and it runs through December 7th. This is your one window to change Medicare Advantage or Part D drug plans for 2027, and it opens the day after the COLA announcement, which makes mid-October the single most important money week of a retiree's year. Here's the mechanic most people never connect. Your COLA is set nationally, but your plan costs are set plan by plan every single year. Premiums change, drug lists change, pharmacy networks change, doctor networks change. A plan that was the cheapest option for you in 2026 can quietly become one of the expensive ones in 2027, while its name and your card look exactly the same. In late September, your plan mails you an annual notice of change, the document most people throw away unread. That letter spells out exactly what your plan will charge next year and which drugs it will still cover. Read it with your COLA math beside it. If your raise is $61 net, and your plan's premium and copays are climbing by more than that, your entire raise is already spent. You just haven't felt it yet. The move: during the week of October 15th, take 1 hour. Go to Medicare.gov, enter the drugs you actually take, and compare your current plan against the 2027 alternatives. People who do this every year routinely find real savings. People who auto-renew 5 years straight are the ones paying for it. The mistake isn't picking a bad plan. It's assuming last year's good plan is still good. Check it once a year, in this exact window, and the COLA you keep gets bigger without Congress lifting a finger. Number 5. The raise can quietly raise your taxes, because the tax thresholds never move. Social Security becomes taxable once your combined income, that's your adjusted gross income, plus tax-exempt interest, plus half of your Social Security, crosses $25,000 for a single filer or $32,000 for a married couple filing jointly. Here's the trap. Those thresholds were set decades ago and have never been adjusted for inflation, not once. So every COLA pushes more retirees across them. A raise designed to offset inflation gets partially taxed away by limits frozen in another era. Cross the first threshold, and up to 50% of your benefits can become taxable income. At higher combined income, up to 85%. To be clear, that does not mean the IRS takes 85% of your check. It means up to 85% of it counts as income taxed at your normal rate. Still, for a couple sitting just under $32,000, a $900 a year COLA plus a small interest bump can be exactly what tips them over the line. The typical mistake: nothing is withheld all year. The bigger checks land in January, and in April there's a tax bill nobody saw coming. The fix takes one form: W-4V, the voluntary withholding request. It lets you have 7, 10, 12, or 22% withheld from your Social Security payment automatically. You pick the rate, sign it, submit it to Social Security, done. If 2027's bigger checks might push you near those thresholds, run the estimate this fall while you can still adjust the withholding, not in April when the only option left is writing a check. And number 6, the one almost everyone gets backwards: a big COLA is not good news. Retirees cheer when the projection climbs and groan when it falls, and it should be exactly the opposite. Think about what a COLA actually is. It doesn't make you richer. It reimburses you for prices you already paid. A 3.6% COLA exists only because prices rose roughly 3.6%. The raise chases inflation from behind. It never runs ahead of it. So when the forecast dropped from 3.8 to 3.6% this month, headlines framed it as bad news for seniors. In reality, it was good news. Inflation is cooling, which means the gap between what you spend and what you receive stops widening as fast. And there's a second layer most people never hear. Your COLA is calculated from the CPI-W, a price index built on the spending patterns of urban workers, not retirees. Workers spend more on gas and commuting. Retirees spend far more on the category that has inflated fastest for decades: healthcare. That mismatch is precisely why groups like the Senior Citizens League track this number so closely. Over a 20-year retirement, a COLA tied to workers' spending tends to fall behind a retiree's real costs, even in years when the percentage looks generous. The mistake: treating the COLA as a raise to be spent the month it arrives. The move: treat it as a partial refund and build your own gap filler. Even $25 of that $75, redirected into savings every month, becomes your private cushion for the years the formula shortchanges you. Rooting for a big COLA is rooting for high inflation. What you actually want is a small COLA and a plan that doesn't depend on one. So here is this week's one action step. Log into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov. Write down your exact gross benefit to the dollar and circle October 14th on the calendar. When the number drops at 8:30 that morning, you'll do the real math: gross raise minus Part B minus taxes in under a minute before any headline can spin it for you. If this helped, subscribe and share it with someone on Social Security. Come January, they'll be glad you did.